Hi, I'm David Murphy at Business Apps, and I'm speaking today with Stephanie Ino, who is Client Services Manager at Gummicube. Stephanie, good day to you. How are you today?
I'm doing well, David. Thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So let's get straight into it. Quick intro to Gummicube, if you could, please.
Yes, Gummicube has been a leading ASO company for over 16 years. First, initially building out for our custom technology for how we can measure ASO, and then also for optimizing on a global scale. And then now we have as well for our services that support for ASO for our clients, and then also as well with our paid services too.
Good stuff. And ASO is what we're going to talk about today. So let's go right back to basics. Why invest in ASO? What does it bring to the table?
Yes, ASO is kind of, I like to think of it as where everything comes back for kind of home base. So with ASO, when we're optimizing for both our metadata and then also for creative, is that most of any channel will come back into that product page or that store listing. So we want to make sure that we're building out relevance for any of the terms that we're targeting, and then also as well for those creatives to convert those into users that are going to install and download. So when we're looking at for kind of ASO, it's never really a process that truly ends between also all the store updates and then also different features that are coming out, and then also for different testing. We're always figuring out something else that we can iterate on and improve on to support for our relevance for each of the pages on the different storefronts, and then also for helping to then convert more of those users over into our user base coming through.
Good stuff. So, in the modern era, App Store visibility is about organic ASO, but also about paid search. So, just talk to us a little bit about paid and what role that fulfills.
Yes, paid is really interesting, especially between that relationship with our ASO. So even since before I started working here, the team has been discussing kind of how those two work together and then also how they can both benefit each other. So there's two channels in particular that really have those organic benefits between Apple Ads for the iOS side and then for Google Ads on the Android end. So particularly with Apple Ads is that when we're pushing traffic through from these different channels is that we have these different placements that are giving additional signals to Apple that were relevant for those terms that we're targeting from an organic perspective. So when we're running Apple Ads, particularly for those search results, it gives that boost in relevance so that Apple understands that we have better potential to then rank organically for those terms. Now, it's not also just from the Apple Ads traffic. Apple will take different signals from other placements as well, and then also with there from the layer of custom product pages, which is another kind of lever that we can pull from an ASO end. With Google Ads, on the other hand, so with here, Google Ads is a little bit of a black box. So what we would do is actually one of the placements within the Google Ads campaign is within the Play Store itself. If we have ads running and then on that Play Store placement, then we have that kind of additional relevance as well, kind of giving additional signal into the algorithm that are relevant for those terms that we're targeting from an organic end to potentially rank higher. So they work really well together. And then also from the opposite direction is that when we're running these other paid channels and paid ads, is that they'll push the users over into our organic assets. So for our product page or our store listing, so that's where we want to make sure that from an ASO perspective that we have that foundation built out. We have our best converting assets from a creative standpoint. We have our metadata also built out with the same strategy so that we have that united consistent strategy across different channels to have the best performance from both ends.
So, you spoke a couple of times there, Stephanie, about how paid feeds into organic. Just moving on from that, I'm interested to know how marketers should strike the right balance between the two.
It's difficult to have a blanket kind of answer for how we should approach between those two pieces. It's really custom based off of a couple of factors. So between the amount of budget that we have available, if it should be pushed towards our paid ads and paid channels, and then also for the app size and maturity. If we're working with a younger partner, or maybe a younger app in the storefront, we don't have that relevance built out yet within the algorithm. So we really want to focus on our organic and our ASO performance. So with there, we want to make sure that we have that foundational element of ASO to really see for the keywords that we're able to rank for, and then build out that relevance within the two storefronts so that when we have that paid budget available, then we can push that traffic through, and then we'll have a higher potential for having placement on the paid side and then also coming in at a lower acquisition cost. Where on the other hand, if we have a partner that has a mature app that's been in the storefront for a long time and also has that brand awareness already, then we can go into a little bit more of the customization between the strategy for either the current paid channels that are running to see where there's areas of opportunity to either lower for our costs coming through and then also from there improving for our efficiency. The other piece too for kind of apps that are a little bit more mature in the storefront is they typically have those organic rankings and that relevance already built out. So what there we can look into for custom product pages and custom store listings to really hone in for any of the assets and then also for kind of our strategies from there with other channels that are coming through. So if we have maybe a Google Ads campaign that's running traffic through, then we want to make sure that we have that custom store listing that has assets that align with that strategy from the paid side so that we can have the best chance of converting those users over and then improving overall for our relevance from both a paid and organic perspective. For Apple's end, when they're looking at for at least kind of the signals in terms of our relevance there, they'll actually take into account for both organic and for paid. So there too, we want to make sure that their strategy, at least between any partners that we're working with from the paid and organic perspective, is always going to be consistent. And then also what they're, of course, custom to their unique kind of situations and their unique pain points.
Good stuff. Well, Stephanie, that was very concise, very insightful. Thank you very much indeed.
Great, thanks so much.
So that's a wrap for this chat on ASO and paid search with Stephanie Ino from Gummicube. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.